Breaking news, another time-traveling clone has been identified, according to the mainstream news. You're looking at a 121-year-old picture of Greta Thunberg, according to a museum out there in Canada. Supposedly, people online browsing the Yukon Territory's museum discovered this picture, and they're like, hey, that's Greta. What a coincidence, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, this would add to the collection of celebrity time travelers and would add to the suspicions that time travel is happening right now. You've seen the numerous pictures from the 1920s, 30s, and 40s, people with cell phones, people with modern day clothes, just showing up, photobombing the situation. Hey, buddy, check this out. Wow, how did he know that was coming? We covered this video just a few days ago. And as people are watching the television, the They Live television, they have no idea how it's being done, how it's being manipulated. And what people are suspecting, ladies and gentlemen, is that clones are being placed in key positions of influence, politicians, corporate governance, celebrities, and the like, to keep everybody in check, to keep everybody dancing to the same beat, if you will. We're being entertained as they terraform the planet, as they body snatch the sheeple. What's for dinner, ladies and gentlemen? Spirit cooking. People go missing every day. They think perhaps it's just some sort of serial killer, some sort of Jeffrey Dahmer, Jeffrey Epstein kind of situation. But it seems like there's something else going on. Where are these people going? What is the true nature of the situation? They're definitely hiding something out there, and we'll probably have to leave that for another broadcast. Many people are or have seen the evidence of the quote-unquote flat earth. What are they hiding with their fake NASA photos? What are they hiding with their ISS station? Everybody wants to know. Many questions are out there. People have seen the footage of UFOs and have followed the phenom for quite some time. And while perhaps nobody has all of the puzzle pieces, we certainly have seen our fair share. And look, there's no easy answer to the situation. But it looks like an invasion. It looks like we're being exterminated off this planet. And the question is, why? How? There's many places that we could go from here. What's important to understand is that this invasion from another world is fueled by evil. An evil that wants to destroy humanity, destroy the planet. This same evil is dropping off the clones on television. They're all worshiping the devil. That perhaps is the Rosetta Stone for figuring out who has invaded this planet. Don't think the government doesn't know. They know that we're being invaded. And what they're doing about it is another question. Are they letting them all in like the southern border? Are they fighting them off? Is there a current war going on right now that we're just unaware of? Again, The Rosetta Stone is right there on the television. These people are worshiping the devil. Where have we heard that word before? Well, it's right there in the Bible. The Bible tells you that these creatures are from another world. Could there be something there to be concerned about? If there is some sort of invasion from another world trying to take you out, should we be a little concerned? I think we should, ladies and gentlemen. I think we should investigate the possibility that millions of people have already been body snatched by this invasion. And it looks like they live on the television because it is they live on the television. How is the FBI going to prove, how is the Department of Justice going to prove that we're not occupied already? Certainly the FBI would be one of the first places to be occupied. Department of Justice, law enforcement. Who are you going to call if it's the clones and the demonic picking up the phone on the other end? They've cut you off at the pass. They've thought 2 steps ahead. You're running around with a smartphone, a tracking device, calling them if you need help. They'll be sure to send, the organ donation squad to your location. In any case, what do we do about the current situation? It definitely looks like they're dropping off clones. It definitely looks like they live. It definitely looks like the devil is responsible for what we're seeing on the television and in the schools. And it certainly seems like the entire system has been compromised. So the question is, what do you do now? Well, thankfully you do have a gun out there. Thankfully you do have a Second Amendment out there. And it's rather suspicious that these people on television, this they live on television, wants to disarm you and silence you to render you completely helpless to whatever's coming next. That certainly should be the concern of everyone out there. What if is what the military thinks about 24/7. They call that contingency planning. Citizens should do the same. What if the television is completely taken over by the same mindset, by the same spirit that controls Hollywood and the politicians? How preposterous is that? Seems like that's exactly what's going on. Seems like they've dropped off their clones and the like just about everywhere. So what are people to do? Are you going to continue to cheer for people that you see on the television? Unless these people actually confront the eugenics programs, the Georgia Guidestones, the death towers, the vaccines, the fluoride, the pesticides, until these people actually confront the mass eugenics program, how do you know they're on your side? I mean, I see a lot of people out there, following the impeachment situation. And of course, we could have done a video on that today. But how many people are following that and focusing on that instead of the bigger picture? You may not, believe in UFOs. You may not believe in ghosts and the like. But that doesn't mean they're not out there, ladies and gentlemen. And the question is, what if they are out there? What if they're here already? And I think people should be focusing on these eugenics programs instead of Russians or, other humans on planet Earth for the time being, because there's certainly something stranger than fiction going on. Something stranger than Republican and Democrat going on out there. We see the full takeover of humanity by the demonic, by the dark side. Many people identify this as the New World Order, as if it's some cult that's out to get you. What if there's more to it than that? What if this cult is more than just a bunch of Charlie Manson groupies? And that's a question that we'll have to ask ourselves each and every day as these death towers continue to roll out in your neighborhoods. This question about what they're doing to our planet, to our environment, is becoming more pressing every day. And when you hear people out there say, oh, well, the CO2 is awesome for the trees, you just want to say, hello, we don't breathe CO2. And the fact that the overall levels are going up means that there's more of it out there that can be taken in. We have a surplus in CO2, among other toxic chemicals. I mean, they treat the air like an open sewer, and people just want to focus on CO2 or temperatures. People should be focusing on what's drifting in the wind. It's not just nuclear fallout out there, but every type of, particle has its potential. You think about asbestos or the crap that they, unleashed after 9/11 in New York City. What's in the air can kill you. What you can't see can kill you. And that should be something that people think about more than, the boogeyman on TV. The television is just there to scare you, distract you, dumb you down. We saw a study talking about people's brains getting smaller thanks to technology. And that's really not surprising. Sometimes I look at what's going on out there and I feel like I'm the smartest person in the world. I know that sounds rather, astonishing. I know we've got some very bright people that watch this show. You would have to be. But whatever's going on out there, they're taking us out, ladies and gentlemen. They're picking us off, and you can see it's a total war, and this administration is just, completely submerged by the swamp. Remember that saying, drain the swamp? Well, the swamp is, flooding out the White House. It's everywhere. And you just really have to wonder about, the president's safety with all of these hostile actors working in the background. Why aren't they, why haven't they shipped out all of the holdovers from the Obama administration? Why so many shills? Why so many shills from the 9/11 administration? I think there's a lot of questions that we should be asking ourselves, including the possibility that, this actor is no different than the other actors that are out there. They're not stopping the death towers. They're not stopping the geoengineering. They want to, right now they're investing in a space force to basically mine, export products from quote unquote space into, onto planet Earth. That's going to be the next frontier. They're not concerned about what's happening on planet Earth at all. It's, it's about building an empire like Star Wars or something of that nature. And we're definitely dealing with the dark side out there. And New Babylon is at the center of it. And there's just so much that you could say, and, so many different wild tangents that you could travel on. But I think it's more interesting to discuss things of this nature than to just go with the program. We know where their program goes. ladies and gentlemen. It's written right there on the Georgia Guidestones. We know what these people are up to, what they're looking to accomplish. They want to rape children, as well as murder children, as well as destroy America as we know it. They want to ban the Bible. We can see that these people are fully demonic, hell-bent on birthing a beast system onto this planet. We must stop them. This is our calling. This is our mission in life. This is why, you're online right now. You know there's something wrong with this matrix. You know there's something wrong with the world around you, and you want to fight back. It's part of your program. We're all here to do what we're all here to do, ladies and gentlemen. And however we can, get people on the same page works for me. And, regardless if you're a Democrat or a Republican out there, whatever you might think you are, these people are out to get everyone. And the people on television, they're just part of the control. And to see citizens celebrate these people on television is just phenomenal, to say the least. And you think, in a country of 350 million people, that we could do better than the politicians that we have out there today. I mean, most of them are hardcore shills, not just a little bit, but hardcore. The worst of the worst of society, basically. Child rapists, molesters, career criminals, and the like. This is the best that we can do. The entire system is corrupt. This is the best that we can do. We're treating, the country, the planet like an open sewer. Half the country is a Superfund site, a super dump site. This is the best that we can do. And I think that, many people, just kind of stick with the program. They identify as either pro-life or pro-environment. And they really can't see the fact that it's kind of related. What kind of life are you going to have without a clean and pristine environment? I think we should all be fighting hard for that. And, nothing is free. Obviously, a cleaner environment will require, some sacrifice. Means that you might not need, one of these fracking wells in your backyard. You might not need a death tower right there on your street corner. They try to scare you with the, with the most outrageous proposals, but certainly everybody's seen the technology that's out there that would facilitate, a completely clean planet. But they're not interested in that. They need, for people to get dosed with their toxic chemicals. And we're seeing all sorts of eugenics programs being deployed out there. Not just pollution, but, all of these fires that are raging around the world, cause huge emissions of dioxin and other toxins that just kind of drift in. Sometimes you'll see cities like San Francisco completely submerged for days on end. And that's enough to trigger disease in many people out there, each and every episode. And there's countless of people that, were affected by 9/11. Not just the people that were in the building, but everybody that lived in New York was basically dosed. Hot particles. So, regardless of what you think of these clones, these pictures, and the evidence that would support this idea, you certainly can't deny the eugenics programs that are deployed right now. So the question is, who's out to get you? Who's poisoning the food, the air, the water? Who's spraying you like bugs? Who's, just letting all of the drugs flow in and, turning our cities into a concentration camp? Many ways to get executed, taken out in modern cities. They're death traps. And you can't leave, really. Where are you going to go? So that truly is the concern, the immediate concern, not to mention where this end game is going as they roll out the Skynet, the Terminators, the Matrix. This is doom for humanity. And like we said before, however we can get this idea out there to people, that's certainly what we're going to do. It's not normal to see death towers on every corner. It's not normal for them to, spray you like bugs. You're the fucking mosquito out there every summer. They're infusing all sorts of synthetic DNA into food and then calling it a GMO. Whatever happened to regular food? What's wrong with regular food? We had regular food in, all the way up until the 80s and 90s. People were just fine. What's up with the synthetic food? And all the pesticides? What's up with the fluoride? But all of these fires, this is gassing people, smoking them out. And, it's part of the program. It's all part of the program. That's the pressing issue. No matter, what front you hit. Some people want to save the trees, save the environment, save, the fluffy little animals. That's wonderful. But we should be thinking about, what they've done to the food supply, the water supply, and the air in general, as well as the corruption. And it's all related. Democrat, Republican. How many people out there are fighting, over what they see on the television? How many of you are tweeting about, the injustice of the kangaroo court or the incompetency of this administration? That's exactly the idea. As long as you're talking politics, you're not talking about the invasion. You're not talking about the assimilation. You're not talking about the extermination of humanity. What is the solution to our problems, ladies and gentlemen? It's bringing the Bible back into the classrooms, back into every home, back on the television, and throwing out the trash. What is the trash? It's all this stuff that we're seeing on TV right now. We went from the happy days, Leave It to Beaver, to whatever the fuck is going on out there today, pardon the language. But, that is the problem. It's only going to get worse. And these people these clones that are running the show have basically, monopolized free speech as well as idea making in this country. There's no free competition of ideas. It's literally a dictatorship right now. You're just voting for the same, pool, from the same pool of dictators. You get to choose, the selected candidate from the Politburo, and you think you're free. And I don't think we've ever been as unfree today throughout our history. We've never been as unfree as we are today throughout our history, ladies and gentlemen. And it's only going to get worse. How'd that guy know? What's going on out there? Those are the questions people should be asking themselves. And while, the impeachment or, other news events might be appealing, it's part of the trap. You got to control the narrative out there. You got to flip it on them, set them up with whatever the television is talking about, and then bring them into the big picture. Ladies and gentlemen, in any case, don't forget about what's going on out there. They're trashing the planet. They're terraforming the planet. It's like a boiling frog scenario. Little by little, it just keeps getting worse. And people accept it as normal. But what we're seeing out there is not normal. Death towers everywhere. That's not normal. You want to limit your exposure, be sure to get an EMF detector out there. See what you're getting dosed with. It compromises your immune system, which sets you up for everything from the common cold to much, much worse. And that's just, the lighter side of the list of symptoms. We recommend the EMF 390. You can find that on our website, stfnreport.com. It's only $109. Blows away the competition, which, tends to run between $300 and $500 for a decent meter. Don't get screwed by the El Cheapo from Home Depot that only picks up electric fields. That certainly isn't going to help you with the death towers out there. Let us know what you think about the new footage of the Greta clone, new picture. It seems, authentic. Is it authentic? Did they just Photoshop her in? That is a question. But supposedly this was released by a museum. And it isn't the first time we've seen time travelers on film. We'll leave it there for this broadcast. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Be sure to subscribe to our various channels out there and to check out our website for various links that might be interesting. Till the next time, if you're listening to this, you are the resistance.